Hey guys, it's Alexis with Create Your Future, and I am back today with a brand new video. I have a new success story, and I also have just some general tips and tricks about manifesting and about the holidays. Before I get started, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And if you look in the box below, you have the buttons to hit subscribe on our channel, as well as the links to booking one-on-one coaching with me, one-on-one hypnosis, and links to all of my pre-recorded courses and hypnosis audios. Okay, so let's intend right now, you guys, that you are getting something out of this video. If you are watching this when it airs, that you are starting your week off right with a boom and with some positive reinforcement that will allow you to create your reality faster, better, and more precisely for exactly what you want. And I also want to add too, if you had watched my video that was a couple of weeks ago that got taken down for privacy reasons, then I am going to go over the same content in this video. I actually have notes that are very similar to what I talked about before, and I'm going to reference the same success story. Okay, so you guys, when this airs, it is the middle of December, and in America and in around the world, we begin a series of different holidays starting now, and we just had Thanksgiving, which was after Halloween. So now we have Christmas, or we have Hanukkah, or you have Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. We have New Year's, and then we have Valentine's Day. If you're in certain parts of the world or of a certain descent, then like sprinkled in there, you might also have Chinese New Year, okay? But this time of year is really challenging for people generally that are manifesting for a specific person. And the client that I'm going to reference today, she was feeling that way. So I say that today to know, you guys, that if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling alone, if you're having certain feelings that we could associate as negative emotions, sadness, hurt, frustration, what have you, then you're not by yourself. There was a time in my life before my current marriage where I spent a number of years working on myself, not really finding the right person until I actually precisely manifested for him, because I think I had gone through enough of my own personal development that that it happened for me that way. In any event, there were a number of years where I was single and I was feeling lonely, and I actually hadn't ever felt lonely and single before. I had been single multiple times previously, right? Like, and I never felt alone or lonely or that I really, really wanted to be in a relationship. But I find that a lot of my clients and people I speak to about specific people and about manifesting love, they're really ready. And that's why they found this work. So like, I knew that I was really, really ready for marriage, for being a mom, for being with the right partner, for manifesting love with someone that I considered like a true mate, soulmate, etc. And that even made it worse in my journey when I identified that. So the more that I identified that, then the more I would also identify and give a lot of, I would create a lot of feelings for that time period until I knew how to change it, that were lonely and sad and fearful. And I was working constantly on kind of like rectifying that until I had an aha moment one day where, like, with the people that I was going to spend the holidays with, something happened. Like there was something that happened, there was an event, and then it looked like the plans were changing. And for the first time ever, I thought, oh my gosh, what if my biggest block is spending the holidays alone? What if I don't want this to happen because I am afraid of being alone, being lonely, and then what that means, right? Because I sat there and I remember thinking, okay, so then that means that I'm going to die alone. That was one of the fears that I heard. That means that I'm never going to find the right person. That means that I'm going to be alone forever. That means that I'm never getting what I want, right? So like I encourage a lot of you to do, I allowed my mind to try to give me all the evidence in the world for me to think I'm lonely, I'm alone, I'm unhappy, I'm not with my person, etc. Plans are falling apart. It's not going to work out for me. I'm going to be by myself on Christmas. Okay. Which then would lead to being by myself on New Year's because of the situation. Okay. So it's interesting, you guys, is I did this. And this is where a lot of my coaching tools for this time of year come from, is I said this. And I remember, everybody, I was on the treadmill at the gym and I said, you know what? And I looked outside and I said, no matter what the F happens, I am going to enjoy this year's holiday, because guess who's in my holiday? Me. And at the time, my beloved cat that I had for 19 years, she was still alive. And I said, she's going to be with me. I'm going to be with me. So I'm going to be with me for Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day. And I thought, oh my gosh, like no matter what, I am going to have the best time. So the way things happened for that particular holiday is I had that conviction. I had that realization, you guys. And then guess what happened? I got invited to go somewhere else. all the plans came together where I was literally in my mind thinking, okay, well, if I don't have the plans I thought, then I'm going to book a trip and maybe I'm going to go to Florida. Okay. That's how deep into the self-concept of changing my concept of my holidays got to. Now, within that time frame, I also realized a lot of the childhood concepts that I had about holidays that really came from my parents' divorce, what I experienced when they decided to no longer be married and how that affected the holidays, and that I had really taken on the story of the holidays being difficult, things not working out, being sad, and feeling kind of alone even when I was with people, right? So that became part of my programming. So really, like, until I actively changed it, everything looked that way, right? Like something would kind of fall apart and I would think, oh gosh, here we go again. The holidays aren't working out. I just can't have a good time around this time of year. It doesn't work out for me, right? So to dial it, just to get really specific, you guys, that day on the treadmill for me was so significant. And it was so specific because for the first time I decided, oh my gosh, like I am in ownership of this day. And by the way, it is just one day. Each holiday is technically one day. So I thought, okay, I'm in ownership of what I do. I'm also in ownership of my involvement in the holiday. I'm in ownership and I'm in charge of my happiness. I'm in charge of what's going on here. And that's how I'm going to look at it from now on. Now, flash forward to now, I'm married. I have a 7-month-old son. For Christmas, I'm going to a New Year's for Christmas. I'm going to a Christmas Eve thing, a Christmas Day thing, a Christmas Day night thing. And then I have something happening that when I'm filming this, it's tomorrow, which is Sunday. Okay. Now, those became part of my experience, but I honestly believe it was through releasing the resistance of the loneliness, the sadness, the negative emotions, and the fear of being alone. Because now I actually could probably be alone on the holiday and I really wouldn't think that much about it because I'm not giving anything a ton of meaning and I'm not in a route of resistance trying to resist the holiday, thinking that something bad is going to happen and that it's awful. So start to Now, you guys, this video, I had not planned for it to be on such a tangent about the holidays, but a lot of clients that I spoke to, when that video got taken down, they really liked that I went into my personal story of what I've experienced. So here we have it. That's exactly what happened to me. And, you know, I am a child of divorce. Both of my parents are not currently married. And when all of that happened when I was much younger and I was a teenager, it still did affect my thinking. It affected how I saw relationships. It affected how I viewed the holidays. It affected me having a connected, wonderful feeling of warmth, which I had always had at Christmas up until all that happened when they had their split. Okay. So that is how we create, which is also helpful to go into today too. That is how we create, you see. So I had an event that happened in my physical reality. I took it on as fact. I took it on as, okay, mom and dad aren't together. Mom and dad don't love each other. I'm not loved. I did something wrong. That was my story at the time. Things are my fault here. I didn't do enough to keep the family together. Now because what happened in my family is we would have Christmas and my dad was left out and he would always be really upset. Okay. So that was the story. That was what happened year after year after year after year after year. So that became my assumption about relationships. That became my assumption inwardly, right, about the holidays and about what I experienced. Now, in there, I never knew, right, until I became a conscious creator, until I learned all the tools that I teach to my clients, that I have in my courses, and until I learned hypnosis too, on how to really reprogram myself and to believe that this is my holiday, right? I am the center of my holiday in my mind. I am the only thinker that can think about this holiday independent of everybody else. And it was really really a turning point for me to think, oh, like I'm in charge of this day. It's not that I'm not going to think my thoughts based upon what mom is doing, dad is doing, sister is doing, brother-in-law is doing. And now I'm not going to think my thoughts based upon what husband is doing, what son is doing, what mother-in-law is doing. No, even if things don't work out correctly, I'm still not going to be giving the meaning that this is an awful day, because guess what? I'm still alive. It's still my reality. It's my mind, and I can be in charge of my thinking now. If I could, thoughts travel through time. So I intend that my 16-year-old self overhears that, because isn't that kind of fun? But what's really important is how I view it now, right? So you guys, what's really important, excuse me, excuse me, is how you view the holidays now. How do you view this in terms of your concept of self and you? How are you going to label the day? What meaning are you going to label the day? Because like I had said in the video that got taken down, you could be a success story this time next year, and it could all happen in February or March with your SP, or it could happen in February or March with your job and money. So we want to start cultivating and giving meaning to the holidays in a new and different way. No matter what you're doing, have fun. If you are single and you're manifesting for an SP, then order your favorite food for dinner, wear your favorite outfit, pajamas. If you're at home, right, because it's chilly in a lot of places, wear your favorite thing, like wear your favorite pajamas. Maybe treat yourself to something new and cozy that really tells you that you are your biggest priority, because what your mind, remember, overhears is what you create. So your mind only hears the facts. Your mind doesn't have like a way to block out the negative. Your mind, you guys, doesn't know what is a negative thought and a positive thought. All that your mind hears is fact. So if I was to say to myself, my holidays are awful, that's happening again, I'm alone, here I am, it's the same old thing. I'm never going to be with who I want. I'm never going to have this. I'm never going to be in the right relationship. Love and relationships don't work out for me. I'm never going to find the right partner. Your mind overhears that. And then you create in your reality circumstances that hold that belief, that hold that thought up. That's all that is ever happening in any area of life. So the idea that you can do an intention, this is a funny one that I've heard over the years. I intend that my negative thoughts don't create. That's coming from the idea that your mind knows what's negative and what's positive. Your mind has no idea. All it hears is what it hears. It takes it as that. It doesn't have a negative or a positive. Okay, so that's a little key right there. That's a little thing that I hadn't planned on talking about. I will get to the success story also, but I think that's really important. How you view the holidays. Use this as a time to really hone in on your concept of self, decide who do I want to be now and who do I want to be going into the new year? Do I want to be going into the new year with stability, strength, safety, in charge of myself and in charge of my circumstances, meaning that I'm creating them now, right? I'm not allowing my 3D physical reality to tell me what's going on. Now, let's take me as an example, right? If I had known that when I was 15, 16, when my parents had their divorce, then I could have maybe even thought, oh, like, we're all going to have a great holiday next year. Mom and dad are going to get along enough that we're all going to go out and have brunch and it will be no big deal, right? But I didn't know that. So you can always be changing what's going on. It's funny because I can hear in my mind people thinking, well, just intend that they stay together. My parents should not have stayed together. The best thing that they ever did was finally part ways. It's just always difficult for kids, because you just want to have the cozy, comfy home. Just saying. So if you're someone out there who is in the middle of leaving someone's separation, having guilt about it, all that, if you want to manifest someone new, I'm all for it. You do create your reality, but take the route of least resistance, right? My parents have never been happier. Mainly my mom since they split. So just saying. All right. This video is full of tangents. I intend that it makes sense and that you guys get it. Okay. So let's go though to embracing ourselves towards the end of the year. Go through the culmination of the year, the energy at the end of the year, which might even put you in kind of like an inner hibernation mode because we are animals. Let's go into the beginning of the new year with thoughts of, I am important, I matter, I'm putting myself first. What I want is what I can have, and I can create this the way that I want to create it. Okay. The other thing to think about too, you guys, is that your thoughts create, right? So I have had a lot of clients recently who were like, yeah, I found law of assumption. I used to do law of attraction. Now I do law of assumption. This is so much better. I'm Googling it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what I have to say, you guys, is this: there are hundreds of thousands of laws of the universe. There is the law of gravity. We do not see the law of gravity like in action, right? I am just here as a person. There is a law of attraction, which is the law of cause and effect. With your thinking and your beliefs, we're being at cause and we're affecting our reality. When you're thinking of the law of assumption, it's the laws of the mind, the laws of belief. Okay. So the basic thing, though, is to not get caught up in this is that, I did this, I did that. What am I doing, you guys? Getting lost in even like, I'm a hypnotherapist, but you still don't want to get lost in hypnosis. You don't want to get lost in meditation. You don't want to get lost in over theorizing. This here that I'm talking about is so simple, and it's so easy and so simple that it's the missing component to so much self-development, which is just monitoring. What am I thinking? Which is monitoring. What meaning am I associating to this situation? What meaning, what thoughts am I associating to the holidays? What meaning, what thoughts am I associating to my SP? What thoughts am I thinking about the person right here, right now? Okay. Now, there is a client that I was going to talk about today at length. I'm not going to go into it too much at length, but she had a big aha moment when I told her these specifics. Things really were able to turn around with her SP because she was no longer relying on him for the big ones, safety, stability, security, but she was also not relying on him to feel like she had a complete holiday. She decided, I'm having a complete holidays. The holiday is within me. I am the one in charge here. This is my reality. And he's going to want, this is going to be great for us. He's going to invite me to be with his family, you see, but she already had the fullness, the sense within it. And it allowed her to think thoughts on purpose, to command in a way what she wanted. She wasn't frantic or desperate or needing it to happen by a certain time, right? So if you're feeling needy, if you're feeling anxious, we always want to get out of that, because then you're in the lack of it. The easiest way psychologically, I feel, to look at it is that when you want someone to give you something, that means that you think you don't have it. So just give it to yourself first with your thinking, which in this case, not to beat a dead horse here, but my holidays are amazing. I'm loving my Christmas holiday. I am loving the new year. I am ending this year with a beautiful view on myself. I'm beginning the new year with a beautiful outlook on the year to come. Wow, I am loving how the end of this year feels this time. Oh my gosh, it all comes with me. The holiday exists within me. Okay, you guys. So yeah, just some general, I just said some intentions, but other thoughts that you could be including into your mental diet this time of year are, I am loving this time of year. My holidays are all working out for me. I am being invited to so many things. I am loving this time of year. I'm loving the weather. I'm loving how I feel. I am just enjoying this whole experience of the holidays in 2022. Okay. All right. So let's use that really as just to come full circle. Your holiday exists within you. The meaning and the thoughts that you have about the holidays are all in your control. So if you are feeling lonely, if you are feeling sad, if you are feeling hurt, if you are feeling frustrated, that's a-okay. Makes sense. You can feel the feelings and you can think new thoughts to give this whole thing different meaning. And the more that you think new thoughts that are different about what you want, you will feel better, because your thoughts create your feelings. But sometimes we're so used to our feelings and our thoughts on autopilot that we have to kind of rectify it directly on purpose, which is giving new thoughts, new meanings to the whole thing. Okay, so just like this client, you can create being together with your SP on the holidays. You can create him or her asking you or them to come over to do what you want, but really, really get in charge of your self-concept of you that is perhaps right now, up until this point, has been kind of going on autopilot. Okay, all right. The only person who can think thoughts in your head is you, right? These are just tips and tools to kind of get you motivated along the way. All right, so you guys, make today awesome. Make this week amazing. Declare right now that you are the center of your universe and that you are amazing and you are awesome too. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.